Okay, good afternoon, and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Good afternoon, and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I hope you can hear this broadcast. I hope you can see me all right. Very important to get this done. So we're just trying to take a few things as we're going ahead. Good afternoon, and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Before we go ahead, I want to apologize for what happened yesterday. There was some sort of technical issue that just would not allow the broadcast to run smoothly. I think we've managed to iron that out. There was some sort of update, and sometimes it will just change. It just needs to take one update, and it would really knock things out. So, good afternoon and welcome to you all. Good afternoon and welcome to you all. Sorry, let me just go back here. This is not what I'm trying to do there. Let's show you what the broadcast head should really be. 1 second, please. Now, okay, good. So now, I want you to look at the broadcast here. Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Now, please, as you're coming in, we'd like you to go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Very, very important. We need your support. As you're coming in, if you're not already subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube, please go right ahead and do so now. We'd really appreciate your support. It's very, very important. We're over 2,000 something on that, and we are very, very grateful. So please continue to go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. We'd really appreciate that you go ahead as you're watching us now, to go ahead and just subscribe. That would be very, very helpful. So here's what you would need to do when you're doing that. Just go in and click on subscribe. Just so you just subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, and give us a thumbs up, hit notification button, and of course, finally, the thumbs up is very important. Now, so please, as you go throughout the broadcast, I will be reminding you on a regular basis to please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power, and also subscribe to our sister station Oduduwa TV Radio, where we speak in Yoruba language. Watch out for a program tonight with Lady Best, and Lagba Adejo. They'll be doing a host of different topics tonight. So please watch out for that between 7 and 9 p.m. And I believe Omoba will be also doing a broadcast from about 5 o'clock to around about 7 p.m. this evening as well on Oduduwa TV Radio. So these are the promotions ready. And also, please, if you want to advertise on Citizen AY, get in touch. Admin at citizeny.org. If you want to advertise your products on Citizen AY, go ahead and do that. We appreciate you very much. Admin at citizeny.org +447399580606. Now, what I would like us to do in this is to look at the topic. Now, let me break that topic down so you can see it fully. Let me just make this smaller. 1 second. I want you to see what is really important here. And also, this is in relation to there's been a bomb blast at in Kano today. Now we've since been told it may well have been a what do you call it? A bomb explosion, a gas explosion, they said. But let's not take it at face value. I don't think we should take it at face value. I think we need to be wary of those statements. So let me just 1 second, please. 1 second. Okay. So we shouldn't take it at face value. That's what I'm trying to say in all of this. Now, I wanted to show this and I'll show you. You see, Nigerian government has so far, this is the main topic. Nigerian government has so far rehabilitated 35,000 Boko Haram Iswap members. The question is, Southern and Middle Belt governors, they are silent in the face of this so-called rehabilitation. What have they done? What are the Southern governors? What have they done? So there you have the words there. What have they done to address this issue? They say to us, oh, they've been rehabilitated. What have the governors done? Please don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to Citizen NY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power. You can also join us as members. Good afternoon, Idaya to Moraina. Good afternoon to you on Oduduwati Radio and on Facebook and on YouTube on Citizen NY. Please subscribe to us. What have they done? The question we're asking, the federal government of Nigeria have pardoned 35,000. I'm going to read the details in a bit, in a little while. But I want you to just take note of that point. The federal government, since 2016, they've pardoned 35,000 Boko Haram and Iswap. 35,000. And so far, we know they've killed over 35,000 people. So, does that not suggest that we are being replaced as indigenous people? To all the governors, southern governors and middle belt governors, we are asking a question. Does that not suggest to you that we are being replaced by Boko Haram and Iswap terrorists in our nation? Because the government is pardoning those who are killing indigenous people. So we are asking a question of Governor Wiki, we got Makinde, Akeredolu, all of those who are speaking up, and they are telling us to vote in the next election, aren't they? But why are they ignoring this? Why? Let me read to you one report that came out. And I want us to really understand why we must go for self-determination. Because those southern and middle belt governors, they need to address why it is that they are silent. As our own federal government has, I'll read to you what it says. It says here, in 2016, the Nigerian federal government launched Operation Safe Corridor to facilitate the rehabilitation of ex-insurgents. According to official data, coordinated military campaigns have to date resulted in mass surrender of 35,000 Boko Haram and Iswap terrorists and their families. So this government now, majority of those who they call terrorists are foreigners that Bala Mohammed told us they are inviting into the nation. They are terrorists. So without asking those of us who are indigenous people, the federal government of Nigeria have been assimilating foreigners in, because this is assimilation without getting clearance from us, the people. They have been bringing in foreigners and they've been with their families. It says so here. Look, it says so here. That's it. I want you to read those lines. I'm going to highlight the whole thing. I want you to understand that we are at war. We are at war. And until we, the people, understand exactly what is being done, we're just waiting. I don't know what it is we're waiting for. We need to prepare ourselves. This is a blatant attempt to actually take over our land, and this is why we're coming and doing this broadcast. We are asking, what are the governors of the middle belt states doing? The governors of the southwest, the governors of the southeast, because so far over 35,000 people at minimum have been killed, and I'm sure the estimates are probably more. It's probably up to 100,000, 400,000 displaced, up to 400,000 displaced, maybe at least 100,000 killed so far. And these are the people who are doing the killing. So the question I'm asking, those who are telling us to come and vote in 2023, what have they done about Boko Haram terrorists? They are killing us in our farms, in our villages, in our homes, in our cities, they are killing us in our butches. Yes, referendum. No, my brother Rinda Daman. Yes, we have got to organize a referendum ourselves. So let me read to you one of the things that really that is very important to break that. I'm going to break this down. There's a report that came out, and I want you to look at this report. So again, it says here, Nigerian ex-Boko Haram fighters face tough path to reintegration. They even look at the language that they're using here, and this is by a foreign press. The reason why I have chosen this is DW, Deutsche Media or something. It is like a German news. Now the reason why I am showing you this is because This is how they are selling it. This is how the foreign media are selling this to the world. They are selling it to the world like we, the people, have agreed to reintegrate with the Boko Haram and Iswap terrorists. And we haven't. We haven't. The government are doing this. They are selling a message. Let me read it to you. Look at the words here. Nigeria is striving to reintegrate Boko Haram terrorists who have voluntarily laid down their arms and surrendered to the local authorities. But in many communities, resentment towards the ex-fighters are still strong. The reason why it is strong is because they are not part of us. Bala Mohammed told them to come. Has many of you forgotten? Let us show you. You see, we need to understand the psychology of the governance that is ruling us, and our governors are silent in the face of this. Let me go here and bring in Bala Mohammed. Let me just type it in on Citizen AY. You will see I mentioned. Let me just type in Bala Mohammed. Let me just Bala Mohammed. So I want you to reiterate. Just it says here the words you will see. So let me just mute that one for a second. So I'll take that away just a second, and I'm going to deal with that and then come back so you can have an uninterrupted thing there, because it's not now. Okay, now. So now, here's what I want you to look at. So, before I go into it, I want you to look at the bottom of the page to see foreign Fulani herders will benefit from Ruga initiative. Governor Bala Mohammed. I am pretending a picture here. This is, and that is is a threat to us, the indigenous people. I'm presenting a picture here to make us understand this has been long planned. In 2019, he said this. These are the words he said. Now let me, and then I go back to the main picture. 35,000 rehabilitated, not jailed. But yet they are happy to say that we are the people who are committing crimes and everything else. As soon as any Southerner commits any crime, they are jailed. As soon as any Southerner does something, they are put out, the press, everybody. But they are not one of those terrorists and ISWAP who have killed us have been charged to court. They've been rehabilitated. Their families have been brought in. I want those who are telling us to go and vote in 2023. The Governor Wikes, the Tinubus, the Ayade, all articles, the Oshibajo. They need to explain to us, why is it that the government are rehabilitating foreigners? Shouldn't they be sending the foreigners out of our country back to where they came from? Does that not tell you that the Fulanis, in bringing in Fulanis, and then they rehabilitate them and leave them within our communities, is a danger to us? There is no one Nigeria based on the evidence I'm putting before you. Now, let us go and look at this now. So, I want you to please share the broadcast that you're watching. Let me bring this up. Hopefully you can hear it. 1 second.
That needs to work, but
let me see.
Being used by criminals, hooligans, and charlatans, where some aspect of criminality has been provided by that forest. That is
what is being done now. It is important that we in the South understand that what is happening now is treason against the people, the indigenous people. What the Fulanis are doing is carrying out treason against Middle Beltans, against Igbos, against Yorubas, with collusion of our own governors and senators and House of Reps. Because they cannot tell me that they do not know that 35,000 people being rehabilitated, all of them are foreigners. They are taking our resources. They cannot tell me that they're not aware. But they are the same ones telling us to believe in one Nigeria. Let's listen on.
It's called Lame Bora Forest and the Yankari precincts. So outside the agitation or advocacy of the environmentalists and those that are more concerned with the fauna and flora, will be able to provide a salutary effect to the country, because we have over 3,000 square kilometers of land that is in the savannah, in a lush vegetation that can be used for this kind of program, even to serve the nation.
So to serve the nation, so you are bringing in foreigners, and then you are killing Southerners. and Middle Beltans? Is that not a reform of replacement? If they are killing minimum of at least 100,000 of us, and they are bringing in foreigners 35,000, is that not replacing us? Where is the one Nigeria? Where is that one Nigeria? The governors of the Middle Belt and the South, these are the questions that each and every one of us should be asking those governors, those House of Reps, those senators. This is for us to explain to those who still believe in one Nigeria that one Nigeria is a fraud. Let's carry on.
And while we are doing it as the federal government has conceived it, we want it to be private sector driven, and we will bring those who are more familiar with it.
Okay, if you say, because I mean,
question.
everybody we want to see that this killings end and there's peace, and then people go about their businesses peacefully. Everybody wants to see that. But when you say that you want it to be private sector led, we understand that the government is going to provide 80% of the funding, the state to provide 20%, and then provide the land.
Yeah.
How is that going to be private?
So I want you to understand what has just been said there. Let's break it down. Let us break it down. The federal government will provide 80% of the funds for foreigners that they are bringing in to kill us, the people, the terrorists. They are bringing in, they are going to provide funds for 80% of the fund. The state governments, the northern state governments, are already providing land to these people who are killing us in our land. And they are not being taken to court. That is the reality that we're faced. That is when you see killings and explosions and people being killed, AK-47 in the hands of Fulani terrorists, this government is funding it. So I am asking those South Middle Belt governors, those Southwestern governors, those Southeastern governors, what are you doing in the face of this blatant assimilation of foreigners into our country, using the funds that should have been used for our roads, our schools, our bridges, our hospitals, our healthcare? What are you doing? What are you doing? We are doing this to explain, to make sure that the people who still believe in one Nigeria, that they wake up and support the self-determination for Middle Belt, the self-determination for Biafra, the self-determination for Oduduwa Nation. Because the federal government, since 2016, they have rehabilitated 35,000 terrorists. How do we know that those terrorists are not now on ground in every state killing our people? How do we know? They haven't asked us. They are in our towns, our cities, our villages right now. The people, don't forget, they are not from our country. Bala Muhammad said it, that they were welcoming them in with our own money. Listen on.
Sector led.
The government have not released any cover for that purpose up to this moment, but we don't know since we have not been admitted into the program. But certainly we have been working very hard to see that because our people are mostly transhumans, and that we have this vision to create an economic nucleus around livestock.
So they have a vision to create an economic nucleus around livestock. Think our governors, we are putting this question to the governors and to the House of Reps and to the senators and all of the Efulefus, the Ojelus, the bunch of crooks who call themselves fellow Middle Beltans, fellow Southeasterners, fellow Southwesterners, to ask them the question. The government, they are bringing in terrorists. They are rehabilitating them. They are using 80% of the money that we should have been using to fix our roads to pay the killers. What are they doing? What are they doing? We are bringing this to break it down for those of you who are in the Middle Belt, who are in the Southwest, who are in the Southeast, who are still having ideas of believing in one Nigeria, to make you understand that the government is backing the process of bringing in Fulanis to replace us, the indigenous people. That is what they are doing. Let's listen on.
And of course, with all the value chain that we can get around livestock, the blood, the horn, the skin, and of course, we will try more to cultivate that culture in our people, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold and try to arrest their
They're bringing the Fulanis. Did we ask for the Fulanis to be brought into the country? Is this what one Nigeria is about? So they need to so they are bringing the Fulanis into the country. That is what their one Nigeria is about. So when we tell you that one Nigeria is a fraud, you are hearing it. Bringing the Fulanis in one fold into our nation. And the Fulanis are the ones who the government is giving guns. I've got news flash for you. The government are also, in top of this, I'll just put this in here. They are going into communities in the Middle Belt, in the Southwest, and the Southeast. And they are using the army. The army is now a threat against our own people. I'm going to play you a video shortly, but let me just listen to this phone. Let me get that video for you so you understand exactly what is happening. It is time for us to go for self-determination. We want no part of one Nigeria. What I'm laying before you is clear examples of the government deliberately trying to take our land by bringing in foreigners and making them citizens. You see, that process, I've talked about this before, but it is worth mentioning this again and again and again, till every Middle Beltan, till every Southwesterner, till every Southeasterner understands that the process of assimilation of Fulanis into our indigenous areas is the process of taking the land from us. We need to understand that. And you are hearing a governor, a sitting governor, stating this live on camera. It's not hidden. It should be obvious to all of us now that every community in the Middle Belt, in the Southwest and the Southeast, that we should be taking this message to every community, making them understand that we are under threat. In fact, a war is going on. A war is going on right now. It's an undeclared war, but it is happening. Listen on. Sorry about that. Let me just go. I don't like when that happens. Let me just move that out. I do not want that there at all. That is not what we want.
It is not the plan.
So let me go back here. Now, let me play it. Sorry about that. So now,
Man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting.
We don't care. You see, it's not the Fulani within Nigeria that causes it. It's that culture. What culture? They are not Nigerians as we know it. The borders in the south have been closed against people from Cameroon coming in and against people of Benin coming in. And both of those people, they speak the language they speak Yoruba language on one side. Some of the people in Cameroon, they speak Igbo language on the other side. And yet they close the borders. But the borders in the north are open. Please explain to us. This question goes to the governors, senators, House of Reps, ministers in that government to explain to us what do they mean by one Nigeria. Because the one Nigeria that is being explained by Bala Mohammed is one where the Fulanis are given money that belongs to the people, the indigenous people, to have roads, water, light, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety and security. That money is being given to foreigners, prioritizing the foreigners above us. So what do you mean when you say one Nigeria? We are asking the aspirant governors, we are asking Tinubu, we are asking Oshibajo, we are asking Amechi, we are asking every single one who is coming out to tell us to vote in 2023. And that is the reason that we have got to expose this to our people, to wake up. Our priority now, as Middle Beltans, as Southwesterners, Igbos, Biafrans, as Oduduwa people, is the safety and security of our people. Because the federal government of Nigeria has placed the safety and security of Fulanis, foreign Fulanis, above that of us, the indigenous people. That is the reality that we face. And until we address that fully, squarely, head on, we're going nowhere. That is why we need our people to understand what is going on. Now, I'm going to just do something quickly, because everything that this man is saying is a threat to our existence. Everything that Bala Mohammed is saying is a threat to the existence of the indigenous people. That's the plan that the Fulanis have. They prioritize the life, the safety, the cows of the Fulanis are more important than the lives of the Southerners and Middle Beltans. It is important that our people understand that. So when you go saying you believe in one Nigeria, the one Nigeria they are talking about does not include you or your farm or your families. That goes for Middle Beltans, Biafrans, and Oduduwa people. We need to break this up, and we need to expose those who call themselves our leaders for failing to halt the assimilation of the very terrorists who are killing us. The government is paying them money. You can hear Bala Mohammed saying it. Let's play on.
Bench, which is embedded in the tradition of the Fulani man, that attracts reprisal from all over the
if I understand it, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do.
Did you hear that? So all the Fulanis from across West Africa, they are welcome in your one Nigeria. So now let's just go on that basis. You believe in one Nigeria, right? As a Middle Beltan, as a Southerner, and as a Southerner. You believe in one Nigeria. What do you think is happening to us as the Fulanis are coming right now? Let me give you an example. As a Middle Beltan, the Middle Belt people, 2 million are displaced right now because of the policy of this federal government to focus on putting the benefits of foreigners above that of the indigenous people. The Fulanis that are coming into our country, they are not indigenous to our land. They have never been. The houses, their land has been taken from them by the Fulanis. Now they are trying to go for the with Madame Fodio a plan of using religion to say they are non-believers to take our land. At the time we woke up, that is part of, they're using all means necessary, religion, psychology, governance, restriction, imposing themselves on us. They're using all forms of ways to enforce and ensure that that land is no longer ours as indigenous people. That's the reality. You heard him say it, that they are welcoming Fulanis. When they welcome Fulanis, what happens to the Middle Beltan? What happens to the Biafran? What happens to the Oduduwa people, to whom the land belongs, the indigenous people? Are you following what I'm saying? I hope you are. I hope this makes sense to you. If you are, continue to share this broadcast, because what we are faced with is the extermination of our people. There is an undeclared war. That's the point I'm trying to make here. There is an undeclared war, and all of us, as Middle Beltans, as Biafrans, as Oduduwa people, need to rally around ourselves. We need to rapidly unite, because they are banking. The Fulanis are banking on our disunity to continue to ensure they take our land. That is what I'm trying to bring to our attention urgently. I will shortly play you that video, but let's listen on for a little bit more to what he's saying. So you heard him say now that they are welcoming in Fulanis. When they are welcoming in Fulanis, that is at our expense. That is why you saw that they are pardoning. I'm going to show you again, but let me play this for a bit. They pardoned 35,000. They should have seen the 4 walls of the court. They should have been tried in court. They should have been sent back to where they came from. But no, they've been assimilated. That is the government policy, to replace indigenous people with Fulanese from all over West Africa. That is the reality. And that is actually treason. This government is engaged in treason. But because they hold the reins of power, nobody can challenge them. And those who know that they're doing it, the Oshibajos, the Ochitinubus, the Wikis, the Amechis, the Akeredolus, the Fayemis, they know what is going on. But because of what they are getting in terms of this illusion of this useless money, they are silent. We are being exterminated from our land. That is the plan that they have. Listen again to Bala Mohammed.
But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project.
So you see, it is a must. They are telling us that we have to buy in, that we have to accept. And that is what Gutierrez, I will bring Gutierrez into the subject. Gutierrez came and told us we need to integrate with the very people killing us. Integrate. That means we accept our killing and we remain silent. This is why we have no other option than to go for self-determination. I hope you are following this. Please share this broadcast. If this resonates with you, please go ahead and share it. Now, let's carry on.
And you use the language, the culture itself, to be able to convince them away from the mistrust where
they are trying to convince us to accept the very people that they are bringing in to kill us. Are you following? This is a psychological, attempt. 1 second, please. Something just dropped. Oh, yeah, there we go. This is a psychological attempt to ensure that we, the people who are oppressed in our land, we accept our oppression. I hope you're following what I'm saying. They are psychologically preparing us to accept our oppression. And they are using visuals and everything else and religion and everything they can find to ensure that we, the indigenous people, accept that the Fulanis are welcome in our midst even as they are killing us. Are you following what is being said? Is this clear? Now, I hope many of us are taking note of what is being said here and using it as the basis upon which we communicate with our communities in the Middle Belt, in the Southwest, in the Southeast, to urgently defend themselves. Defend themselves. I will show you the video. Let me just listen to what this man, show you this, what this man is saying. It's all a pack of lies. They're trying to convince us to accept our own oppression and suppression and extermination. That is what is going on. This government is engaged in nothing else other than treason. And we are being told by our own so-called southern leaders, Middle Belt leaders, to accept our own extermination. That is the reality on ground.
The whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project, and it requires
criminalization. The criminal act of the government in bringing in foreigners, putting them as priority above the indigenous people, is a crime. In fact, it should be considered a crime against humanity. And this is a crime that receives the support of the UN. And this is why we, the indigenous people, cannot rely on the UN. You cannot rely on UK. You cannot rely on US. Whatever they come to bring to you, it is all a distraction. This job for us to free ourselves. None but ourselves can free us. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, cause none of it can stop all the time. How long must they kill our prophets? Whilst we stand aside and look, whoa. Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing? This song of freedom is all I ever hear. Oh yeah, redemption song, redemption song. This song of freedom is all I ever hear. Oh yeah, redemption song. Only us can free us. That's the message in that song. We need to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. We've been enslaved. This man is sitting on a channel's news. This, if you want clearest evidence that the channels, the TVC, your AIT, your Arise, they are all government media. They are told what to say. And we all know that NT is the same thing. It is time we free ourselves. Don't look for anywhere else for the help than within ourselves. When we stand together as Middle Beltans, as Biafrans, as Oduduwa people, when we stand together, no force on this earth can stop us in going for self-determination. And it will need us to set up a coordinated vigilante system to protect us, because the government of the day, they've been engaged in treason, bringing in foreigners to exterminate us, the indigenous people. And that is the reality that we have to explain to our people in a clear, concise language to make them understand that we must protect ourselves. Listen on to the lies from this this so-called government. It's not
As
even
people
fit to
with
be
passion
government.
who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say, yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it.
You see now, you bring Fulani's man into our country. They clean us. And then you now say it's an accusation. These are facts. Millions have died. 2 million have been displaced in Tivland. They are living in IDP camps. Thousands have been killed. 90 million of the people are impoverished because of the policy of the government targeting farmers in the south, killing our farmers, destroying their crops. These are the realities of what we face. This is treason. If the only thing left for us to go do now is to go for self-determination. We have no other choice, and we're not waiting for anybody to give us to come and grant us self-determination. It is us who is going to free ourselves collectively, and that is why our unity as Middle Beltans, as Biafrans, as Oduduwa is sacrosanct. We need to unite and get that vigilante groups in place as soon as yesterday. Listen on.
There's no tribe that is not, that you don't have this criminality in, but certainly the way and manner we do it is really exacerbating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are
within that?
Oh yes, that is going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation.
Now, when they talk, again, you need to understand when they're talking about documentation. You know that they've been trying to prevent us from having a census. We've never had a census since 1960. From the colonials, they handed off to the colonial, to the Fulani, the local colonials, the Fulanis, because that's what they are. They are not from our parts. They are local colonials from Futajalon. We need to understand that. Now, the plan that they have, they never wanted us to have a proper census, because if they know that if we had a census, it would confirm the numbers in the south. Look, it's not rocket science. There are more people living in the forest area than in the desert. It is as simple as that. The north, in terms of the Hausa area, is desert area. So there will always naturally be more people. This is fact, I'm telling you. I'm not exaggerating. If you go and look at it, people gravitate more towards where there are plantation, the trees, the forest, the water. They don't have that. So the numbers will always move away from there to the south. That's the reality. Now, here is what they are trying to do. Pantami, in the past year, has put the names of foreigners as Nigerians, 10 million. Pantami. Yes, that is what he's talking about. So the documentation now, they will now use it as an argument and say, look, we have 10 million of us in this area. But they are deliberately ensuring that we, the Southerners, the indigenous people, that we are not having our names recorded in those records. Our names, our people, that's why they are displacing us. This is all part of the strategy. I hope we are all understanding. This is a serious problem that we all combined as Middle Beltans, as Biafrans, as Oduduwa. We face this problem. Pantami has recorded 10 million foreigners as Nigerians. They all have the Nigerian identification number, whatever, NIN. They have it. But how many of us have it in the South? Ask yourself. And these governors, they're saying nothing about it. The governors are doing nothing about this. The House of Senate, House of Reps are doing nothing about this. The senators are doing nothing about this. This is why it is down to us, the people. We have to bypass these governors, because these governors they've committed treason against the people. This governance has committed treason, and they've got record of this. Why are you bringing in foreigners, knowing that we have the people on ground that should be in our land? Our farmers are being killed. Their crops are being destroyed. There's no compensation paid to farmers. You kill one cow, they will get compensation. Anything happens to a Fulani, if he kills any Southerner, he doesn't get, he gets away scot-free. And you're telling me there's one Nigeria. Just what does that mean? And we, the people that are being killed, are the indigenous people, relentlessly every single day. People are being killed in the Middle Belt, in the Southwest, and the Southeast. And we cannot be quiet. We cannot be. We need to wake up. So let's carry on.
The demographics, because as I said, a Fulani man settles anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings and what have you, and that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the cows and the lorries.
Let's stay with that security angle for a bit.
Listen now, listen.
Is this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there is no one that can just come in from anywhere else?
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will understand
it is not going to be a prison.
You will understand the reason why people are concerned
because
of all the security issues that have been happening over time. So if that's...
These forests are there anyway. If you don't occupy them and create a colony out of them, they create places for the criminals.
When he says criminals, he's trying to pretend. This is all psychology. When he says criminals, he knows that the forest. The presenter was asking a question in an indirect way. The question was, how do you know that you're not going to, fence it and nobody else can come in? But the presenter was the presenter was saying, look, foreigners will be able to come in. He said, no, it doesn't matter. If you don't, you create if you don't use the forest, you create it for criminals. But the criminals are actually the foreigners. Who are they? In reality, they're the terrorists that the government is using our own money. Remember, they said 80% of the money for them is provided by the federal government, meaning that your road, your schools, your bridges, your light, your safety is being put in jeopardy by the government that promised to serve you. Because they are giving that money to foreigners. They're settling their families. And when they are doing that, that means that they are trying to replace you. That is why we have no other choice than to go for self-determination and declare the referendum that's going to be taking place. It's not the one that the federal government or any of this government will have anything to do with, because we know that they are fraud. The constitution is a fraud. We, the people, and that is why our unity, getting us together in communities now, in numbers, is very important. And the only way to safety, make sure that happens, is via vigilante groups. We need vigilante groups urgently. You are hearing all of what they're doing here. They are trying to tell us, if the land is not used, this is none of their business what we do with our land. They have no right to bring in Fulanis into a nation. And they are the very ones who are telling us Nigeria is the integrity of Nigeria is let me get the exact words. But he talks about the integrity of Nigeria. The very fact that they are bringing in non-Nigerians into the country means that this governance is actually breaking apart what we know as Nigeria. On that basis, we have every reason to dismantle Contract Nigeria, because they are replacing us with Fulanis, and they are giving them all the protections. The priority of the federal government of Nigeria is to resettle Fulanis at the expense of the indigenous people. That's the reality. Now, let's carry on.
And today, that's why you have the Sambisa forest, because it is not being utilized.
But Your Excellency, much as yes, they are fantastic. We have met a lot of them who are Fulanis as well. But the concern too is, why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we are already accommodating them.
You see that? Without asking us, the people, they are already accommodating them. And every time they are accommodating them, they are using 80% of the money from the federal government. They are giving them, the state government is giving 20% of the land in each of the states that the people end up in, without the say-so of the people. But you tell me there's one Nigeria. When they are doing that and they are displacing people, the thieves have been displaced, the Biafrans have been displaced, Yorubas has been displaced. The policy of repopulation and Engineering the demographics of the area is what is going on. We need to wake up. I am asking and I am calling on all of the indigenous people, the Middle Beltans, the Biafrans and Ojujua, all of us, that we work together. It is our collective unity that will save us. If we try to do this on our own, if the Middle Belt try to do this on their own, they won't get nowhere. If the Biafrans try to get on their own, they are getting nowhere. If we Oduduwas try to do this on our own, we are getting nowhere. This is the reality that we faced. Again, please, I urge you, those of you watching, this t-shirt is for sale. It's £30 in the UK. If you wanted a copy of this t-shirt, get in touch with Citizen AY. Please do get in touch. Let me make sure this phone is on now. And maybe I might leave a section for phone calls, because this is so important what is going on. We are at war. My life fair said it, but I want you to listen to this, and I'm going to play you a video to make you understand, to make us understand what is going on and the steps we need to take to counter this urgently, collectively. There is nothing that we can do on our own individually. It requires collective effort. But that collective effort, we need to understand that our voice, when we carry out a referendum, that is signifying that we are, as indigenous people, own that land, and whatever decision we take collectively is binding. And that is why a referendum is the solution in each of those regions. Referendum by the Middle Beltans, referendum by Igbo people or Biafrans, referendum by Ojibwa or Yoruba people. And that is the binding one that we need. As it currently stands, the fraudulent 1999 constitution is a fraud imposed on us by non-indigenous people, and they are oppressing us till date. And it is time we break the back of this injustice. That's what I'm trying to explain. Now let's listen on.
Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria?
That is why you have borders, in case you don't know. This is why you are meant to have borders. You know? Exactly. So they're so docile. Eliezer Izuchukwu, thank you so much. They are absolutely docile. And this is why please, I'm urging you, this is not a task for Citizen AY alone, or Mayegun, or my brother Mazi Aloze, or my brother Mazi IK, foreigner. You know, this is for all of us. That, you know, I'm going to be bringing other people. We need to have regular discussions among ourselves. We should be having discussions behind the scenes to make sure that each of our communities, it is our responsibility as members of that community to safeguard the future of the coming generation. We cannot live in the hands of these people, because it is clear that their plan is to exterminate us. It's time we wake up. You see? I'm hearing that Nigerian police officer opens fire on peaceful students. You know, this is crimes that we in Ondo State. They open fire. You know, I'll show you that in due course. Let me just carry on with this for a little bit, because I don't want to lose track now.
They are all Nigerians, because I said they are.
You see, they're telling us that foreigners are all Nigerians. This is nonsense. And we have, and you call yourself a governor, as a southern governor, a middle beltern governor, in the face of a governor. What is it? Why can't you speak for your people? Why are you having to be afraid of non-indigenous people who are trying to impose themselves and take your land? Don't you know that what you call a property will be taken over by these guys in a minute if you do not protect your people? Speaking directly to the governors of the Middle Belt, governors of the Southwest, governors of the Southeast, you are participating in the extermination of your own people. This is the reality. Now, let's listen on to this nonsense.
Identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian, even though we have relations all over the world.
That's not what we're asking you. They are foreigners. That's the point. If you close the borders against us in the south, in the southeast and the southwest, to prevent our own family who speak the same language, why is it that you close the border but you open the border for the northerners? Is that not the plan? The plan is to populate, to squeeze out those of us who the land belongs, the indigenous people. My people, it's time to go for self-determination. We will declare ourselves. We're not waiting for anybody to give us to give us our freedom. We must take it ourselves, but we need to do it in unity. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, let's listen on to these lies again.
All over Africa, and so presumably they are Nigerians.
You see, they are Nigerians. What about the indigenous people? We don't matter. Our lives don't matter. And they are doing it. Anytime a Fulani man kills a Southerner, please tell me if they've seen the four walls of a court. Tell me if we have ever gotten justice. Tell me. If you are believing in one Nigeria, answer that question. Have we as Southerners ever gotten justice? How many of our farmers have been compensated for the loss of their crops? How many of the families of the farmers killed have received compensation? How many? If you're going to tell us to support one Nigeria, please answer that question. That question goes to the governors, the House of Reps, senators, those of you in the South. You are watching your own people being killed by foreigners and you are doing nothing. Shame on you. Shame on you. That is why we, the people, we need to rally around ourselves, because we cannot count on those who are going to be silent as they exterminate their own people to defend us. We must protect ourselves. We need that unity among Middle Beltans, Biafrans, and Oduduwa urgently, ASAP.
I think you get me. That is the misunderstanding. They move from one place to the other, and they have relations, kith and kins in all the parts of the country, and even outside the country. So
what's that? That's no business of ours. If you are telling us that Nigeria is indivisible and indissoluble, then that means that the people, the benefits of what you call Nigeria, should come to the people within the border, not those outside the border. I hope you are all following what is being said here. These guys are here to take our land. Let's be very clear about it. It is up to us to defend ourselves. Use every means. Vigilante group, making ourselves aware. Psychologically, they've prepared our people for their own extermination. They come with a religion. They say, if you say anything against my Muhammad, we will destroy you. They will use it as a right to kill you. That's the same strategy used by Uthman Danfodio in this 1800s, and they're using the same thing now. 1900. 1907. They took over. It's time we woke up, my people. It's time we woke up. Nobody can do this for us. We have to do this collectively. Middle Belt, Oduduwas, and Biafrans, or Igbo, however you want to call it. Now, please don't get into. We haven't got time for squabbles. What we need is to make sure that we secure the future for the coming generation of Middle Beltans, the Igbo people, the Oduduwa people, whatever you want to call yourselves. You have to be alive. If you're going to be even call yourself whatever, you got to be alive first. Unity is the key now, right now.
that is why our own population is fluid. You can certainly not say this is the population of Nigeria.
So these issues was raised. These same issues were raised in NEC, and NEC admitted and accommodated all of these concerns and said, yes, we will do this.
All these issues, there were some, you see, when decisions are taken, you don't give a dissenting view.
Anyway, I'm not going to play anymore because it is now clear to you that they have only one policy: the total assimilation of foreigners at the expense of the indigenous people, which are you and me and our fellow brothers and sisters in the Middle Belt, in Southwest and Southeast. I hope that is clear for us all to see. Now, let me show you part of the things that they're doing to make sure this becomes a reality. Now, we need to be very, very aware of. I'm going to show you this now. It's going to come up now, hopefully. It should come up. 1 second. Because we've been docile, and those governors, I'm pointing this out about the governors, the ineffectiveness of our governors collectively. And if we wait for them to do anything for us, nothing will change. Oh, sorry. Let me just do this again. I thought it was ready, but it isn't. But I'll get that here. 1 second, please.
In this.
Now, let me just drop that down. So you'll see come up in a minute. It'll come up in a minute. So now, here we go. Is that it? 1 second. Where are we now? No. Okay. Come on then. Sorry, 1 minute. I'm just going to get this right. It's been a bit difficult, but we will get there. It's playing about. Now, here we go. Now, watch this closely.
In these four regions.
Watch.
Now, I want to tell you the essence of this military exercise. Soldiers, like we are, will be sent into towns and villages and they will be going house to house to conduct searching. What are they searching for? They will be searching for weapons. They will be searching for arms and ammunitions in the houses and the homes of people. And as they are searching, especially in the southeast, if they find any gun, whether it is den gun, whether it is Oka made, whatever type of gun they found in your house, they will take it. And when they take it, if there is any young man in your house, that young man is going with them, because automatically that young man will become a member of the unknown gunmen that they claim to be looking for. And if care is not taken, that young man is not coming back home again. Now, this military exercise that they're going to carry out, they're going to carry out a mop-up of arms and ammunitions. They will go house to house, like I said earlier, to seize any kind of weapon they see in your house, and they will take it. Now, what does this signify to you? Remember that the terrorists in the northeast and northwest and
oh, sorry, one second please, we'll be back in a second. Sorry.
The Fulanis, so-called headsmen that are scattered all over the country, they are all having their military assault rifles, AK-47, AK-49, even the rocket propellers. They have all kind of weapons, GPMG you can think of. They are parading them everywhere they go, and nobody is saying anything or doing anything about it. But now they will come to you in the southwest, the north central, the middle belt, the southeast and south to collect the little weapons maybe that you would have used in your own little way to defend yourself in event of any attack by these headsmen. The soldiers will come in there and pick them up, and then they will leave you at the mercy of these Fulani headsmen, because after this exercise, the soldiers will now go, will seize those weapons now and leave, and then the Fulanis will enter. That will be the next step. And when the Fulani enters and you have nothing to defend yourself with, have this at the back of your mind, because that is what is going to happen. Remember, late Dr. Obadiah Melafia had told us that by 2022, and these people are planning, they have perfected their plans to start a civil war in Nigeria. By the time they start this civil war, they are the only ones that has weapons. Your own weapons now have been taken away by the soldiers.
You see? Are you listening?
So that you will have nothing to defend yourself with. And their Fulani men will come in at ease. Do you get it now? Do you see it now?
Are you
Do you see what their plans are? So, what do you do now is to prepare your mind. If you have anything in your house that is implicating, you know how to keep it, because they are coming to your house. That is the exercise they are talking about. The military exercise is they'll go from house to house searching for arms and ammunition, and if they find your own, they will take it. So, if you have anyone with you, you know how you keep it, because time will come. In the very short time ahead of us now, you will need it. At least, even before you are killed, you will make noise with your little weapon in your hand. You can be able to make a little noise before the Fulanis get on you. And God on your side, you can use that weapon to defend yourself, and you will not get killed. So, what are we saying here now is that you, whoever you are, please, I am begging you, as you hear this message, this audio, make sure you send it across to our brothers in the southeast, our brothers in the southwest, our brothers in the north central, and our brothers in the south. Every one of you, wherever you are, be prepared. Know that the evil days are here. There is no point postponing the evil days anymore, because the evil days are here. Whether you like it or not, you might be one of those who pay death.
So, now, the reason I'm playing that, I want you to listen to the particular words. Like I said, I said it before. They said, oh, by the way, we are going to now, they will come into your community and take your guns away from you, what you use to protect you. And the army will do it. And as they are leaving, the Fulani terrorists will be behind them, coming to kill the people that have the army has made defenseless. Defenseless. So that is the message that I want us all to really pick up on today and communicate this to all our area. And this is why vigilante group is important. As I speak to you, 2 million people are displaced in the Tiv. Already people are in the Tiv land. And the government, Ahmed Wase, prevented Makwila from tabling a motion on the floor of the House of Representatives to table the plight of the Tiv people that are being displaced by the very Fulanis that these people have allowed in, who are using our resources, our money, our everything for themselves at our expense. There is nothing like one Nigeria. You need to wake up. There is nothing like one Nigeria. It is a fraud. It is a lie. Now let me play this to you about this Gutierrez, because he came to Nigeria at the invitation of the government and they tried to rope some things against some other people. Listen to what he has to say here. Let me listen. I'm not quite sure how long we'll play it. Let me hear.
In the holy months of Ramadan. And the fact that I came to Borno State is symbolic of our priority in the world to fight terrorism and to create solutions for the victims of terrorism. Now, the Borno State I've heard about in many...
Now, their solution to protect the victims of terrorism is for us to assimilate with the very people carrying out the extermination and the killing of the indigenous people. That is their solution. Listen now.
Circumstances around my life as a High Commissioner for Refugees and then as Secretary General was a Borno state of terrorism, of violence, of displacement, of despair. This is not the Borno that I found today. The Borno...
Can you see what is being said? The Borno is found. This is where they're carrying out. In Borno State, ISWAP are collecting taxes. ISWAP are running sections of it. This is happening across the whole of the north. But nobody is saying anything. This man is, you can tell that the Fulanis are controlling, are giving him what he should say. They're not listening to the local people. Thief people are being displaced. He has said nothing about what I talked about now. There's a video where Ahmed Wase prevented Makwila from tabling a motion about the displaced Tiv people in Tiv land. But this man here sees none of that. That is why we mustn't count on UN. Let's listen on.
I found today is a Borno of hope. Is a Borno with future.
You see the narrative. They are not reflecting the reality. They are saying what they want people to believe. It is not based on reality. Everything is said now is a lie. There are bomb blasts, there are killings, and people are being displaced every single day. But they're not showing that. Because the people that are being displaced are the indigenous people. That is what we need to understand.
And I was very impressed to see the policy that is being applied here, recognizing that you don't fight terrorism just by military means. You fight terrorism addressing the root causes of terrorism. And the policy of the governor, which is aiming at reestablishing fully the confidence between the people and the government, is an essential element that I could witness today being implemented.
Can you see?
In reality.
You see?
And on the other hand, it is absolutely essential to understand that in a situation like this, it's not enough to provide humanitarian assistance. And I'm grateful to all those in the international community that have supported the people of Borno with humanitarian assistance. But the people I met today want more than that. The people I met today in the IDP camp want to go back home in safety and dignity. And when one looks at the state, one understands that the way to address terrorism effectively is to provide not only hope, but a future of reality, is to invest in livelihoods, is to invest in the reintegration of those that have been in the past recruited by these terrorist groups, by Boko Haram.
Can you see that? Did you hear that? Let us play it again. Let us play it again. Let us play it. Listen, oh, listen. This is where you will know that you cannot trust the UN. We cannot. Forget it. They are telling you on whose side they are. They are with the Fulanis, who are the non-indigenous people oppressing us in our land. Listen again, oh.
Reality is to invest in livelihoods, is to invest in the reintegration of those that have been in the past recruited by these terrorist groups, by Boko Haram.
So to reintegrate those who have been in the terrorist groups, Boko Haram. But what he doesn't tell you is that those who've been recruited into Boko Haram, are they not from West Africa? Are they not the Fulanis? They are foreigners. Can you see now why you cannot rely on the UN? I hope you can see it too. Me, it is clear as night and day. I hope you can see it. You cannot rely on the UN, US, UK. You cannot. The only people we can rely on is ourselves. Middle Beltans, Biafrans, and Oduduwa. That is the only people we can rely on. We are the ones to provide the solution, because it is clear. For us to assimilate, to rehabilitate the very people killing us, means that we are bringing killers in our midst to do more killings. Which goes back to the point I came with at the beginning. Let's go back. I showed you what I was showing you before. Let me go back again and bring this up. Where is it? Where is it? Not that one. Not this one. This is what I was showing you before. Goes back to the point I'm saying here. Here. Says, I hope you can see it. I'm trying to make sure you can see it. But I want to remind us, because oftentimes we forget. In 2016, the Nigerian government launched Operation Safe Corridor to facilitate the rehabilitation of ex-insurgents. According to official data, coordinated military campaigns to date have resulted in mass surrender of more than 35,000 Boko Haram and Iswap terrorists and their family. So they are bringing in foreigners as well as their families at the expense of us, the people. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that? Look, the phone line is on. If you want to call in on this subject, because it is very important, the phone lines are open. Let me just test the phone line. +44 7399 580 606. Let us hear from you. Let us hear. I'm going to stop here for a minute because I want to just hear what your thoughts are on what you've heard and how you see it. So let me just check. Let me just check that the phone line is actually up and running. Please, if you want the t-shirt, send me a text. Don't call, send a text. So yeah, the phone line is open and I would like you to call in. Call in +44 7399 580 606. It is scrolling above and it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen as you look at it. It is there. If you want to call in and leave comments. How do you see what is being done here? Do you now see when the UN person, when the UN Secretary General tells us that the rehabilitation, that the Borno government has succeeded in rehabilitating foreigners into our country? They didn't say, you see, they say, oh, terrorists. But they are foreigners. They are foreigners that are being recruited and assimilated into our country. That is what is happening. That is the reality. So now you can see that we cannot trust the UN for anything. The only people we can trust is ourselves as Biafrans, as Oduduwa, as Middle Belt. And we work together rapidly. So if you want to make a call, if you want to take part in this discussion, please call in on +44 7399 580 606. The phone line is open. Leave comments. I'm going to try and read on the screen. I've seen some comments. Let me read Andy Adu. Andy Adu said, Nigeria expired 8 years ago. Moreover, Nigeria is a country without a constitution. A country without a constitution is not a country. You also said something about referendum. Since there was no referendum when we were amalgamated in 1914, that is the reason why we don't need one. In fact, Nigeria is a country operated without a constitution. Is another reason why we don't need a referendum. Britain rigged the first election in Nigeria. Subsequently, every election ever since. They are very active on ground. Now is the time for us, the Yoruba, to have our own country. We're not one. We don't share the same culture. We are different. We're determined. We are different. Simple. The sooner you realize that Nigeria is a time bomb waiting to explode, the sooner we can go our own way. You continue to force us together for your own economic gain. Exactly. This is what we're saying. Very, very well said, Andy Adu, my brother. If you want to call in, do call in. And Eliza Izichukwu said, only God knows what they did to our southern and middle belt leaders that made them docile and cowardly. Thank you. Oba Matthew, good morning to you, my brother. Reference from is the only solution. Rindam Dam. The Daman said, Oshondu Moses, same thing. Now let's go and look across at the Citizen of Duduwa TV radio and let the comments there. This is to give you opportunity and a flavor of the feelings of the people so that you can get a flavor of what is being said here. You're welcome to participate. You can call in on +44 7399 580 606. What we're trying to do is to bring the level of awareness to our communities, because I can told you now from the evidence I put before you that we are being systematically placed in a situation where we have no other choice but to accept our own oppression, and we need to fight. We need to rise up against that. We are not slaves in our own land. It is our land, the land of our ancestors, and we mustn't allow non-indigenous people to come and continue to oppress and suppress us in our own land. We have the right to self-determination, and we must express that right to self-determination. And indeed, we need to. It is our inalienable right to ensure that happens. So I'm asking you. So let me. Thank you. So let me see. Nigeria is a scam. Olanrewaju Arowolu. Nigeria is a scam. Our people should wake up from slumbering before it's too late. Exactly. These people are already treason against indigenous people of Nigeria. Now these people use the resources of Nigeria to feed and accommodate the foreigners. Exactly. Our Yoruba elders are running up and down for election 2023 when the war closed to at our door because of their selfish interest. Is very unfortunate. All of us, we eat breakfast soon. Exactly. Olanrewaju Arowolu is absolutely right. Oyeki Ayonle fún àwọn no. Oyeki Ayonle fún wọn ni o. So Southwest is a big mess. Exactly. Toyota Matrix 12. No, sorry. Who's that? I'm going to take that down now. I'm not really interested in this nonsense. We need to remove that comment. We're not interested in, this is not a place. If you want to promote your business, get in touch with us on admin@oduduwativradio.org and we can promote your business that way. Trying to put it through what we're doing here is simply not really, it's not effective. And we will not be promoting that. So now, So that's, I've just given you a flavor of comments across the various platforms that we have. Let me look at what is being said on Oduduwa TV Radio on YouTube. And these are just to give you a flavor of what's being said and how people are reacting to what we are saying. So Dada Joshua said they are prepared for those guys for what were just imagine rehabilitated killers, terrorists, and America. UK keep quiet. Exactly. Equato, Equato, Yoruba Nation now no going back. So I'm just going through all various platforms and reading a section of the messages that we have on there. Please, above what you're doing, and above all else, please, we need to continue to raise the awareness level among our people, because war is upon us. War is at our doorstep. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about that. War is at our doorstep. Idayatu Murana, good afternoon to you, my sister. Those of you watching us, once again, if you haven't subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube, here's what you need to do. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. So subscribe, hit the subscription button. Where you need to go, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate that. Again, I'm just going to run it for those of you who haven't subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube. Please go ahead and do so. We really will need your support in getting that off the ground. It is growing. We're more and more people are subscribing, and that way, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you are watching on Oduduwa TV Radio, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on Citizen AY, give us a thumbs up. Very, very important. If you're watching on Facebook, go across to Citizen AY on YouTube. And of course, do what? Subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Facebook is not a platform that we want to rely on for much longer for doing what we want to do, because the message that they're trying to silence us. So we're trying to make sure that that message reaches more and more people. So you've seen from the broadcast now that there's a lot of work for us all to do. There is a lot of work. Now I'm going to go and read in detail. Again, I want you to understand that the message, the federal government of Nigeria they not only control the message that is within Nigeria for Nigerians to listen to. They are trying to control the message that we outside also read. Here is the evidence of what I mean. DW, a German newspaper, they are writing this story in a friendly way about the efforts of the Nigerian government to assimilate the foreigners, the terrorists. The way, when you read this without really understanding what is going on ground, you would think, oh, they're trying to reintegrate with people who are citizens, who are now terrorists. No, but that's the lie that they're telling us. Many of the people that are carrying out terrorism against us, they are foreigners, and the government has actually paid them with our own money to kill the people they promised to serve. And that is the reality that is missing. And that is why the narrative, it is so important that we get control of that narrative and be able to explain it in a way that our people can understand in our local languages. Very, very important. Now, let me read to you what they said now to see here. So this is WDW some time ago, but it is still relevant. And that shows you the power of what this government is using. They are controlling the media at home, and they are using subtle means to control and get the other countries who are the colonials to report the news in a way that is friendly to the continued oppression of the indigenous people. This is about the continued oppression of we, the indigenous people. It is time we woke up. Now, let me not read this to you. So it says here, Nigeria, ex-Boko Haram fighters face tough path to reintegration. Ex-Boko Haram fighters. You see, in that narrative, it completely misses the fact that majority of those who are called Boko Haram fighters and ISWAP, they are foreigners. It misses that straight away. You can see that they are skewing the news in a particular way to make, oh, they've repented, they have assimilated. The reality is that foreigners are killing indigenous people in our land. They are taking our property, they are displacing our people, and that is not shown in this report right here. Nigeria is striving to reintegrate Boko Haram terrorists. You see, what should be there is Nigeria is trying to enforce on the locals, the indigenous people, that they must accept Boko Haram terrorists and ISWAP, who are foreigners. But they're not putting that there. So when you read this news, you would think that what is happening is that it is just a fight among us, the people. You know, we're having a local difficulty. This is nothing short of a lie. And that is what I mean, that we need to come out. If you are Odudua, if you are Middle Beltan, if you are Biafran, and you're watching this, and you're not taking part in getting the news out there, you need to open your own platform. You need to be exposing the lies very much like I'm doing. The narrative is what we need to expose to our local people to make them understand that this is what they're saying outside against the reality that they face daily. People being displaced, and the government will not allow us to report it. These are things. In fact, I am going to go so much as to say I'm going to go and get the Macpilla and thing out, because I want you to understand what's been done. So let me just see now. I'll bring that up. 1 second. So I'm going to play that up now. Let me just see. Ahmed Wase. So let me just go. Ahmed Wase. So do call in if you want to call in. You can call in on +44 7399 580 606. The phone line is open. If you don't want to call in, that's okay. Or you might be busy, but it's a very, very important what is going on right now. So Ahmed Wase, let me just make prevents Macbilla. So I'm going to just show you to remind you of what is going on. And that goes directly against this news thing that when they talk about, so let me show. In fact, I think I've done that before. So I played this before. So let me just make sure I mute this in case it comes up. I'm trying to bring it up. I played this before, and I want you to really understand it. Oh, okay. No, I'm not going to do that now. I'll do that on because it's a better way. Yeah. Now, 1 year ago, I'm going to play that now to cement so that you see what you're seeing here is contrary to what I'm about to show you. So that is why you understand that there is an effort, there is a need for us to get involved in this process urgently and begin to change the narrative and explain what is really happening to our people. Because many of us are under the false belief in one Nigeria without understanding that one Nigeria is actually exterminating the indigenous people. That is the point to be made here. Now, here we go. So let me just explain this now. Now listen to what Babila is about to say now.
Representing Gwe East, Gwe West Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from the Mutual Union of the TIV in America against the federal government of Nigeria. And the issue has to do with the ancestral land of the TIV people that seem to have been possessed in recent times through various attacks, and the fact that they are languishing in IDP camps till date without any intervention. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I want to lay this petition before this honorable House.
Did you say thieves in America?
The petition is from the Mutual Union of TIV people in America. Yes, there's a very
if they're in America, could they really be an interested party here?
Can you hear the effrontery of non-indigenous Fulani man telling the indigenous people that they cannot table a motion, but yet you heard Bala Muhammad telling us that non-indigenous people, the Fulanis, are welcome. They are also Nigerians. Can you see the double standards? Are you not outraged by this? Are you not outraged by what you're hearing with your own ears? Let's listen on.
Do they really know what is exactly going on?
Okay, yes, they do, because they have their family members and their people here with them, and they're, as a pressure group, bringing this petition because they believe that they are also stakeholders.
Mr. Miller, I don't want to make a blanket statement regarding those who are in diaspora.
You see? So it is okay for Fulanis who are foreigners to come in without our say-so, but we, the indigenous people, we have to seek permission. Can you see what we are facing? Can you see? And this is not reflected in the foreign press. This is the reality that we're faced with. That is why we can't be silent. I call on my Middle Belt brothers. I call on my Biafrans and Igbo brothers. I call on my Ududu and Yoruba brothers. We need to unite to fight this. Trying to do this on our own individually will not get anywhere, because we are collectively being oppressed by the one and the same people with proxy from the above. They are proxy for the colonials oppressing us in our own land. That's the reality. Let's listen on.
If this petition is coming from those who are within the country, I believe it has a very good standing. But these people living in America and then coming to lodge,
they are not.
So it is okay for Bala Mama to say that all Fulanis are Nigerians, Fulanis who are foreigners, but it's not okay for T people who have been forced to leave their country and go to US to complain about the treatment of their own people in their own land. And you tell me we have one Nigeria. Please explain that to me. Those of you Efulefus, those Ojelus, those bunch of crooks that call themselves leaders are watching their people being oppressed and they are silent. Explain this to us. Again, you still haven't explained to us why you are accepting 35,000 foreigners into the country, and knowing fully well that those foreigners that have been assimilated will come out and carry out attacks against your own people in their own land. My people, you can see why we have a lot of work to do.
Nigerians who are not all resident there, some of them are just studying. Some of them just went there to do courses.
No, if you say they are Nigerians, they are Nigerians. But I don't know if you have a
Nigerian citizen.
So he's arguing with us about if they're Nigerian citizens. But Bala Muhammad is here telling us that all Fulanis across West Africa, they are Nigerians. Can you see the absurdity of what we're facing? Ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to call in on +44 7399 580 606. Please, we'd like you to order the T-shirt for the Yoruba Nation. I'll talk about that shortly at length. But I want to make sure that if you want a copy of it, send us a text. Don't phone in about it. Send us a text, your size, your phone number, and if in the UK, £30. I'll provide the bank account number based on once you write that, I'll send you the bank account to send the money in, and we can send it to you. We're organizing, trying to work out how we can make sure that people who are on ground in Nigeria and in Yoruba Nation can get access to it. So we're working in the process of doing that. Once that is farmed up, we will come back live and talk about that as well. So just watch this space on that. Thank you very much. You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. Listen on to this a bit more.
Have dual citizenship.
No, they do not have dual citizenship. They're all Nigerian citizens. That's why I said it's a union of an association, just like we have association of lawyers in other states who are from another.
Register with the Corporate Affairs of Nigeria.
You see this nonsense?
Sorry? Register with the Corporate Affairs of Nigeria.
Can you see what is asking? What business? They are the citizens. They are indigenous people. But you can see that this is how they are trying to deny us and take our land. This is clear evidence of the Fulanis coming after our land and preventing those they displaced from having a voice.
Nigeria?
Which one? The association I'm talking about?
Yes, all associations are registered with Corporate Affairs in Nigeria.
We can also begin to look at the fact that our Constitution, Section 40, does not stop any of us from freedom of association.
I am not saying that.
Can you see? It's not even the foreign constitution that they imposed on us. He's disregarding it. These guys, they don't. This is the evidence that I'm telling you that they do not regard that constitution as anything that applies to them. It only applies to us, the people that they want to oppress. It's time we. It really is time we woke up. It is time we woke up.
I'm not stopping that, but I'm saying if they are Nigerians and living in Nigeria are bringing issues, I agree. But somebody in America who is far away in this country.
Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time we have presented petitions, even from those who are not resident.
That is why
we even
the
have
Speaker has to allow the petition to be laid until he's convinced. I'm not convinced that somebody from America should come here and then be laying issues in Nigeria. I'm not convinced.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, would you allow for the relevant committee to also look at it?
First, when you read the clause says with the permission of the Speaker, it means that the Speaker is convinced of the issues raised.
No, that is actually nonsense. The Speaker should allow democratic process to actually take place. This is not a democracy. Next minute they will tell you this is democratic. This is clear evidence that we are not a democracy. Because the voice of the people is being silenced, and in a democracy, the voice of each and every member of the society, and the indigenous people in particular, will be allowed to be tabled on the floor of the house that's supposed to represent them. They have been denied that. This is the clear evidence that we are not a democracy, and we have every justification in going for self-determination. I hope many of you are watching this. Key on this point. Please don't be silent. Each and every one of us in diaspora, we have a job to do. War is upon us. I am here to explain this to you, to make sure you understand what is being done to us. We are being denied our rights as indigenous people. You are seeing a typical example is what is just happening to the two people. Who is next? What community is next? What community will be next? That's the question we're asking. Unless we put an end to it collectively, it will continue to happen. We must collectively put an end to this. As Middle Beltans, as Igbo people, as Oduduwa people, we need to put an end to this by standing together and chasing out the invaders. Because these people are invaders. And the psychology they kind of made us accept their oppression and killing and taking of our land and justified by way of the fraudulent 1999 constitution that we did not sign up to. It's time we woke up.
And the local standing of the person talking.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, you know we have a diaspora department, even as a country, that handles issues with Nigerians in the diaspora. And we do not tell them that they are not resident in Nigeria.
You see?
Abike Dabri, a very right honorable member of this House, superintends over that, and we handle the issues of Nigerians as long as they are Nigerian citizens, even in diaspora. So these are still Nigerian citizens with Nigerian passports who are sending a petition.
Maybe I will refer you to the functions of the Committee on Diaspora. If you go through that one, it has nothing relevant to what you are now presenting.
No, I'm not even talking about the committee. I'm saying
no, you are referring me to so that I will understand. Yes, we agree. There's even the house here will have diaspora committee.
Can you see? But you're telling me we're one Nigeria. Please explain. Those of you personal, the presidential aspirants from Tinubu, Oshibajo, Amechi, Ayade, Wike, all of you, please explain to us how this shows we are one Nigeria. The people who are being displaced, their families abroad are trying to bring the table emotion on the floor of the house, and they are denied. But you will tell me we are one Nigeria. How? We need to break this up. This is the clearest evidence we need that we need to break up contractual Nigeria. Let's listen on.
That is for, excuse me, that is for them if they have issues, for us to solve it for them, but out there, at their own comfort.
If they have issues. So that when it comes to the Fulanese, it's not issues. They are Nigerians. And let me show you, in case if you think I'm talking nonsense, let me show you the bit where Bala Mohammed said this nonsense. Let me show you. 1 minute. Let me go and get this one out. Because this is outrageous, to be honest, to say the least. Now, let me go and get you Bala Mohammed, if I can find it. Is that it? Yes. Let's go and hear. Louis, let me show you.
The pressure from all over the
If I understand it, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project. And you use the language, the culture itself to be able to convince them. Away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project. And it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say, yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not, that you don't have this criminality in, but certainly the way and manner we do it is really excavating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
Let me actually go forward.
You will understand they are fantastic. We have met a lot of them who are Fulanese as well. But the concern too is, why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we are already accommodating them. Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria? They are all Nigerians, because I said their identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian, even though we have relations all over the world, all over Africa. And so, presumably, they are Nigerians.
Right. Listen to this one. Now, let us go and listen to the useless excuse made by Ahmed Wase. Useless excuse. This is grounds enough alone for us to break up that contraption. If you're not fuming watching this, I don't know what to say to you. Now, let's listen to this now. Go back to this nonsense he's talking about. See? Listen to what Ahmed Wase is saying.
He superintends over that.
Listen.
And will handle the issues of Nigerians as long as they're Nigerian citizens, even in diaspora. So these are still Nigerian citizens with Nigerian passports who are sending a petition.
Maybe I will refer you to the functions of the Committee on Diaspora. If you go through that one, it has nothing relevant to what you are now presenting.
No, I'm not even talking about the committee. I'm saying...
No, you are referring me to so that I will understand. Yes, we agree. There's even the house here will have diaspora committee.
Your concerns
that is for, excuse me, that is for them if they have issues, for us to solve it for them. But out there, at their own comfort, I think they don't have this, the position.
So why do we bother?
So a thief man that is in America has no right to complain about how his people are being treated in thief land by Fulanese. But foreign Fulanese who are not Nigerians have a right to come and take the land from you and me and get our money to treat their family. That's your one Nigeria. Are you hearing me? That's your one Nigeria. Those of you, every single, I leave none of them out. Every single so-called politician, efulefus from the middle belt, to the southwest, to the southeast. This is your one Nigeria. Your one Nigeria that you are telling us to support denies the very people that you promise to serve the right to their land or protection from exploitation and killings by the Fulanis. That's the clearest evidence. If you dispute what I'm saying, call in. If you dispute what I'm saying, call in. Let's discuss it, because it's in black and white here. It's in color. It's in camera. You cannot dispute this. On the one hand, Ahmed Wase is telling an indigenous people living abroad that they cannot table a motion on behalf of their very people that have been displaced. But then Bala Mohammed is telling us that Fulanis, foreigners, have equal right to the land that belongs to indigenous people. And you tell me we are one Nigeria. Please explain that one. I need you to explain that one. Every single governor, every civil house of rep, Tinubu, Oshibajo, they need to explain this. Bajambia Mila is supposed to be the head of to be the speaker of that assembly. He couldn't say boo. That is where you know that this governance is a fraud. Bajambia Mila does not speak for, he cannot speak up for his people. Bajambia Mila is the speaker of the house. Did he say anything in here? Did he overrule the speaker? Did he? Did he? Did he? Answer that question. Every single governor, every single house of rep, every single senator, every single minister from the south, from the middle belt, this is on you. This is your one Nigeria. When you are telling us to support one Nigeria, understand clearly that this is what you are telling us to support. And that is why I want our people to wake up. We need to join in this struggle. If you're a diasporan right now, please, our focus is how to set up vigilante groups. We need to set up some things off camera. You know what I'm saying? This is past the point. War is upon us. And that's why I'm doing this program. We need to wake up, all of us collectively. This is urgent. It's not about just talking about what's happening, talking about it. No. Right now, our number one priority is the securing of our people in their land, because that is the only way we can establish our sovereignty. When our people are in their land, we can establish our sovereignty by way of a referendum organized by ourselves, for ourselves, to govern ourselves. Organized by ourselves, for ourselves, to govern ourselves. We are not talking to anybody that's not part of our indigenous people. We don't. This doesn't relate to them. They can go and do whatever they want in whatever they want to call Nigeria in the Fulani land and in the north. But we in the south, it is time we come together. I'm calling on Middle Beltans. I'm calling on Biafrans. I'm calling on Oduduwa people. Now is not the time for us to just be fighting each other. We need unity. Unity. Our survival depends on our unity. Our survival depends on our unity. ASAP. By August, mark my word, civil war has begun already. But by August, it will be clear for us all to see. Right now, we have a little time to organize ourselves. Vigilante groups is our top and only priority. All of us in diaspora, let's find ways and means to support this, to make sure that our people, I've showed you a video, they're going into homes and taking away Dane guns that you people are using to protect themselves, all weapons, they're leaving them open to the Fulani terrorists that this government funds with our own money, meant for our roads, our schools, our bridges, our hospitals. Our government takes that money, give it to terrorists to come and kill us. And you tell us we are one Nigeria. Please, wake up. This is of urgent importance. Please, if you are watching this, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power. We really need you to take action. This is not something that can be done by 1 or 2 or 3 people or even 100 people. This has to be done by 180 million people. Please call in if you want to call us. If you have a comment or two to make on this, +44 7399 580 606. Are you moved by what you're hearing? Okay, if you are moved, what steps are you going to take to make sure that you begin to help your people? Because this is coming. War is upon us. War is upon us. I have a friend, I'm not going to mention his name. He says, take your fitness very seriously. Take your fitness very seriously. And he's telling us, and we need to prepare. I've told you several times and again, in every junction, in every corner in that area in the southwest, the Fulanis are there. They are the ones doing the Okada riding. Our people we are pending like cows in our own land. We cannot speak. We cannot hold those in government to account. This is not a democracy. We are being oppressed in our land. The constitution is a fraud. This constitution is a lie. It's a fraud. The fact that they are using Sharia law to now kill people. And by the way, I'm going to show you one more video. In fact, I'm going to get that video out now because we need to speak truth to power. And I hope you, when you're watching this, you're sharing it, because this is so important for us to understand. The narrative that keeps telling us that if you abuse Muhammad, that you should be killed, it is a lie. It is a lie. And this is one of the things that they use to kill our people and justify the killing of the indigenous people. And we need to understand that the agenda they have is to grab our land. We need to understand that. Let me find the video out. I'm hoping that I can play that again, because I had a problem yesterday, but I think you can all hear me now, loud and clear. So I'm trying to get this to you. 1 second, please. Let me see. Is that it? I hope I've got it. I hope that's it. No, so, not that one. That's another one that they... Oh, that's where they're killing people. There are people are running. The Fulanis are going and killing just because in the name of religion. That's the video there. I'll get this other one. 1 second, please. We really need to wake up, my people. We have to wake up.
Islam prescribes death for somebody who commits blasphemy.
Please, I want you to listen to this. On the basis of this was why they killed Deborah, because she was saying in the WhatsApp group, please let us focus on our studies. This is not here for religion. That's what she said. She did not abuse anybody. For that reason, they killed her. Now let us listen to what they're saying now. Listen to the words spoken by an Islamic scholar. Nowhere is written that they should take the life of anybody for blasphemy against Muhammad. This is a fraud. This is a narrative. And they are playing on the lack of knowledge of the indigenous, of the Fulanis who they control. They are using them as battering rams to kill us in our land. Listen intently.
Prescribes death for somebody who commits blasphemy. Islam prescribes death for somebody who commits blasphemy against Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Is that true? Let's see.
No, it's not true. Islam condemns blasphemy. But there is not a single verse in the Holy Quran that teaches Muslims to punish someone just because he insulted the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran teaches us that all prophets were mocked at. It says, and there came not to them a messenger, but they mocked at him. The Quran mentions that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was insulted, but it does not say, punish those people. Rather, Allah said to him, and overlook their annoying talk, and put your trust in Allah. The Muslims are taught in the Holy Quran that if they hear people mocking the signs of God, then they should leave their company and not sit with them until they change the topic. The Quran does not teach to punish them. If we look at the life of the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, we see that he forgave his worst enemies, even those who had hurt him and insulted him. The Quran mentions the incident of Abdullah bin Ubay, a man who said that he is the most high and the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the most wretched. This was such a great insult that the son of Abdullah came to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and asked permission to kill his father because he felt so insulted at what he had said. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not allow this. And Abdullah lived his life in peace until he passed away in the city of Medina. In fact, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, led his funeral prayer. This was how the Prophet himself treated those who insulted him.
Okay, so if Islam does not allow any Muslims to punish anyone who commits blasphemy against Islam or the Prophet of Islam, why is it that so many Muslims believe that blasphemy is punishable by death?
Because some so-called Muslim scholars exploit the issue of blasphemy to control the masses who may not have adequate knowledge of Islam.
So, you can see the strategy of those using Islam. They are using Islam to control the masses. Many millions of the so-called Muslim masses on the north, they don't know what is right or wrong in the Quran. They only know what their so-called scholar knows, what they're told. So when the Islamic head says to them, Allah said that anybody that curses Islam, they will go out and kill. They will go out and kill on that basis. Now, this video here, let me see if I can just check that video for a second, because that's let me just check this before I'm going to mute it for a second. So I want to just check what is in here first before I say something about it. I'm not muted, but I will. Let me see. Let me just hear it. I'll just say. Now, this is based on. I wanted to check that first. Now I'm going to now bring it here. I want you to see the video. Based on the false Islamic teaching. Based on the false Islamic teaching. Listen to this now. I'm going to play it. Now watch. They destroyed areas. They go into our communities. And this is all part of the plan to take our land over. We need to understand that. We shouldn't be discussing with these guys. It is time to go for total separation. We are justified. It's not even a discussion. We're not the same people. It is time for us to live on our own. Listen. You see, they're shooting, they're chasing people away. Look. Pursue them! You see? Pursue them! That's your one Nigerian. Pursue them! So one of the things I'm trying to show you, and also, in fact, I'm glad I've got this. Based on the ignorance of those people, this young man you see in the picture, he was the one who burned, who he said, I killed her. In fact, I'm going to make it smaller. Let me make it smaller. Let me make it smaller. Sorry about this. Let me make it smaller. Let me make it smaller. I want you to see this. You see the young man in this picture here. Let me make it slightly bigger so you can see. So he took the life of Deborah. He took her life and he said, I killed her. I burnt her. You can see the matchbox I used in setting her ablaze. It is based on the lie that they have the right to kill anybody that abuses Muhammad, which is a falsehood. Again, don't take my word for it. Listen to what was said from beginning again. This is evidence of why we need to go for self-determination fully, all out. These people are out to take our land, and it is up to you, me, and every one of us in the Middle Belt and Southwest and Southeast to stand together and go for our total independence. We do not owe anybody explanation. We must do this for ourselves. Only us can free us. Only us.
Islam prescribes death for somebody who commits blasphemy against Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Is that true? Let's see.
No, it's not true. Islam condemns blasphemy, but there is not a single verse in the Holy Quran that teaches Muslims to punish someone just because he insulted the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran teaches us that all prophets were mocked at. It says, and there came not to them a messenger, but they mocked at him. The Quran mentions that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was insulted, but it does not say, punish those people. Rather, Allah said to him, and overlook their annoying talk, and put your trust in Allah. The Muslims are taught in the Holy Quran that if they hear people mocking the signs of God, then they should leave their company and not sit with them until they change the topic. The Quran does not teach to punish them. If we look at the life of the Holy Prophet of Islam,
does not teach to punish anybody.
Allah be upon him, we see that he forgave
it's a fraud.
his worst enemies,
they are all fraudsters.
even those who had hurt him and insulted him. The Quran mentions the incident of Abdullah bin Ubay, a man who said that he is the most high and the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the most wretched. This was such a great insult that the son of Abdullah came to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and asked permission to kill his father because he felt so insulted at what he had said. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not allow this, and Abdullah lived his life in peace until he passed away in the city of Medina. In fact, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, led his funeral prayer. This was how the Prophet himself treated those who insulted him.
Okay, so if Islam does not allow any Muslims to punish anyone who commits blasphemy against Islam or the Prophet of Islam, why is it that so many Muslims believe that blasphemy is punishable by death?
because some so-called Muslim scholars exploit the issue of blasphemy to control the masses who may not have adequate knowledge of Islam.
So, the government is working with all of these malams, every single one. The Northern Elders Forum, Gumi, they are all working for one single aim, to have their people ready to attack the indigenous people. You know why? To take our land. And they know they didn't have enough people to do it. That is why they are giving Fulanis, Western Fulanis from Mauritania, from Mali, from Senegal, from Gambia, from all over West Africa, to come into our country and kill with the aim of taking our land. And under the guise of somebody being a non-believer in their own land. Get this. The Fulanis come from Futajalon. They come into a plan that they are welcomed. And they now turn on the people that welcome them and say that they are non-believers. Those people, they forget that they have their own belief systems. And that doesn't matter to them. The only thing they believe is that their cows and their God and how they see it is what matters. They don't belong to our parts. They need to go back to Futajalon. Why don't they go to Futajalon and be killing those who are non-believers there first? They have no business coming to our land. You can see now that belief about Prophet Muhammad telling people to kill in his name is a lie. It's a falsehood. That is, again, exemplifies the falsehood of the governance we have. They create a fraudulent constitution. They create a lie against the religion that they're using that lie to kill in the name of that religion, all to grab our land. These are things that our people need to understand. It is time for us to protect ourselves via vigilante groups. That is the solution. We need to protect ourselves, our communities. That is the only way to guarantee the future for the coming generation. I am asking you, join us in this struggle. If you're a Yoruba man, if you're a Igbo man, if you're a Middle Beltan, our unity is the only way to guarantee our survival. Our unity as Yoruba, as Middle Belt, as Igbo is the only way to guarantee our survival for the coming generation of our people, the indigenous people. The Fulanis have a plan to exterminate us. War is upon us. This is not a joke. At this point, as I'm talking about that, if you haven't bought the t-shirt for Yoruba Nation and the football team on the 12th, 24th, and 22nd of May, there's going to be a game played in Johannesburg. Please get in touch with Citizen AY. +44 7399 580 606. WhatsApp only. WhatsApp me a message, and I'll give you the account number. You can pay the money, and we'll send the shirt to you. Get in touch. It's very, very urgent. We still need. There's quite a bit of some time left for us to get more people on. So let me get you this thing to show you what I mean as well, because this is very, very important that we do this. Extremely, extremely important. Let me just make sure I get to show you. There's still time. We still need to raise some funds to help our team. So it's whatever you can do is going to help us. I really can't overemphasize the need for us to get behind. On the day, they're going to be singing our national anthem on the field for the whole world to listen to, and it's going to be played. It will be beamed live on Oduduwa TV Radio, Citizen AY. We'll be watching it. So continue and join us on the day. Very, very important that you do so. Let's just get this. I'm trying to get this information to you because it's so important. I cannot overemphasize how important this is. I'm just going to get this down. 1 minute. I'll show you. Hopefully this will come up now. Now, rate so far 3,606 people donated by people. We need more funds. We clearly need more. Our target is £50,000. We're nowhere near that at the minute. Others may have done some donation. If you haven't, please go ahead, continue to support and donate and get behind the team. Now, it's going to be 21st and 22nd. Let me just bring that down because I want you to see this as well. 1 minute down. So let me just bring this up. Okay. Now, give us a minute. I wonder if I can give somebody a call and update to give us there might be an account number that I can also give you, but I want to make sure I get the clarification for direct donations if you want. But you have the just giving that you can use it there, right there. Now let's go ahead and do this quickly. I want you to see. Oh no,
in these 4 regions.
Sorry, not that one. Sorry, I was a bit trigger happy just there. Let me go back in again and get this to you. So I've showed you that before. So look, there is a lot that we can do, and we cannot wait around anymore. It is really on you and me now to get ourselves together and begin to take steps. The governance, it is clear now from what I've showed you, and they've got the support of the UN in all of this. The UN are not looking at the reality that we are faced on ground. They are looking at the reality from the point of view of what has been told by the Fulani governance, and it's time for us to dispel that by working together and going for self-determination. Don't wait for somebody else to give us what is ours. We are going to take it ourselves. We have to take our independence ourselves. We have to work together. The unity of Middle Belt, Biafra, and Oduduwa is sacrosanct in guaranteeing the survival of our coming generation of people in those areas I mentioned. Please, your role in this is important. We are all leaders, and we must work together to achieve this. War is upon us. The Fulanis have used weapons. They've used the money meant to build our roads, our schools, our bridges, our hospitals, to buy weapons, to give to foreigners, to come and kill the indigenous people. That is the magnitude of what we are faced with. We cannot sit down, fold our hands. We need to take collective action. The football is going to be played on the 21st and 22nd of 21st and 22nd of May, a little more than a few days away. Your support is needed in this. Please, if you haven't got the t-shirt, this t-shirt, imagine on the day they're going to sing the national anthem, the boys will be playing. Let me show you a video of the boys playing, and they will be wearing this. I'll just show you a clip of the video, boys playing, and we want them to come and represent. The Biafrans are already there. They're already on ground. I think we're probably trying to work on, if I may be able to do this, let me take the chance and actually call somebody, and they can give us an update as well from their end, and maybe that might give us it might be something that can give us you know, the thing to go forward and support this very important thing. So let me I'm going to call somebody, and hopefully we'll get some updates on their end to see what's going on. I'm going to try, and if you can, I will make it into, I'll put it on the speaker so you can hear it if they can join us. So let me do this. So I'm trying to see if they might be busy, they may not, just to get the direct update. Like I said, we have the t-shirt for sale. If you want it, the t-shirt is for sale. Get in touch with us, +44 729 580 606, and we're organizing to get more places for it to be sold. They are not picking up. Okay, so but I will, okay, I'm going to end that for now. So we will come back to that. Now, what I want us all to do, you've had a lot of information today. Let's give ourselves the time to process it. If you want to call in +44 729 580 606. We cannot be silent in the face of this oppression and the killing that is going on. We need to get involved. Now, yes, you can pray. Yes, you can pray, but you do more than praying also. What you also need to do on top of your praying is to make sure that you communicate to our people that we have the right to self-determination, that we have to we need to protect ourselves by way of vigilante groups, and how we can make that work. These are the things that we need to do. You're hearing about the policeman that went and killed, attacked people, you know, shooting in the crowd. You know, let me forward that if I can. I'm going to forward that to you. Let me forward that. Is that yesterday? I think it is. Let me just forward this now. I want you to see this as we are hearing this as well. So there is a lot of work for us all to do. What is important is that we not be silent. We must take collective action, and we need to prepare our people. What is going on is really, really unacceptable. We are being unfairly treated on our own land by non-indigenous people, receiving support from colonials. What we need to do is to push back. Nobody is going to free us. You've heard what Gutierrez said. Gutierrez was talking about us working with the terrorists who have been killing us. He forgets to mention that they are foreigners. They don't belong in our land. They have no business in our land. Our land should belong to us, the people. The resources should benefit us. Instead, the money that is being generated within our own economy is being used to finance the very people that they are brought in, that is being brought in by the Fulanis to kill us in our land. And we are told to integrate with the very people who are killing us. That is genocide that they are promoting. That is genocide. And we need to make sure that we take part in this, get and expose this narrative, and make sure that we collectively free ourselves. Nobody can do it for us. Nobody else can do it for us. So I'm urging you, this is not a joke, and this is not here to be alarmist. War is upon us. It's not only the only thing that is missing is not being declared. It is undeclared. And at some point, the whole world will know. But in the meantime, we have little time that we can take the action that we need to take to protect our family, our friends, to take the action that they need to take. Now, let me just show you this now. I want to go. I mean, this is what we're saying. So the Nigerian, this is by Sahara Reporters. It says Nigerian. Let me just see if I can go back. I don't know what's happened there. Sorry about that. Yeah. The Nigerian soldiers opened fire on students, peacefully protesting prolonged lecturers' statue strikes in Ondo. Sahara Reporters gathered that the students had taken over Akure-Ilisha Highway, protesting against ASU when soldiers invaded the area and started shooting indiscriminately. Some Nigerian army personnel Tuesday harassed and shot students who were protesting on the ongoing strike against the academic staff union of university in Akure. Sahara Reporters gathered that the students had taken over Akure-Ilisha Highway, protesting against ASU strike when the soldiers invaded the area and started shooting indiscriminately. The lecturers have been on strike since February 14. Soldiers, according to the video, let me just see if I can show the video. I hope it's nothing to. I better check it before I put it on because it may be gruesome, and I don't want to take a chance on putting that up. So, let me see. Yeah, it looks. Let me see. Before I put it up, I got to make sure.
Nigerians, they scattered our protest. They came here shooting with the people. They scattered everything. Look at that. See all our things. See all our things.
Let me go back. Here we go.
Nigerians, they scattered our protest. They came here shooting with the people. They scattered everything. Look at that. See all our things. See all our things. See where the Nigerian goes. See all our things. Nigerian military. See Nigerian military. See Nigerian military. See all our things. We are fighting for our rights. See our things. See our things. We are here peacefully. See all our things.
See? So this is what you are faced with. Let me play it one more time for those of you who may have seen it. This is the Nondo, Akure, I think it is. Sorry.
Nigerians, they scattered our protest. They came here shooting with the people. They scattered everything. See all our things.
That's the reality of what we face.
See all our things. See where the Nigerian goes. See all our things. Nigerian military. See Nigerian military. See Nigerian military. See all our things. We are fighting for our rights. See our things. See our things. We are here peacefully. See all our things.
So now you've seen that. So they attacked the students, they shot at them, and they destroyed their equipment. That's to make sure that they don't have the ability to come back and continue their protest. They should be protecting the citizens, but the Nigerian army is the one actually leading in attacking the citizens. And yet you tell us we have one Nigeria. These are, look, we need to wake up. The times that we're in now, it needs us all to actively engage in this process. I'm asking you, please, what are you prepared to do? Again, as you're watching, please, I hope you subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube right now. Here's what you need to do to go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Let me just remind you again. Go ahead, subscribe to Citizen AY. Click the subscription button. Give us hit notification button. Finally, give us a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the more this broadcast will reach more people. We're doing that on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're also on Oduduwa TV Radio. We're speaking in English. We'll be back later on with Lady Best and Omoba. About 5 o'clock, Omoba will be with us till 7, and then from 7 to 9, Lady Best will be with us on Oduduwa TV Radio. Both of those programs are going to be in Yoruba language. But what we do, Citizen AY, is we're doing this on all platforms. So at this point, we ask you, if you haven't subscribed to Citizen AY on YouTube, please go ahead and do so now. The information that we're sharing with you are very, very key and germane and important for our people. We do also endeavor to translate the language, to speak in a language that our people understand in broken English from time to time. So we will do specific programs. This program, we're doing it in English so that everybody can understand each other and we can actually disseminate that information. Then we'll come back again and do some of the segments of this in broken English, in small videos, because we know that our people haven't got data. This is aimed, the video that you're watching us is aimed at many of us who are in diaspora and some who are home who may have data, because we need to explain extensively how damaging this oppression that has been. We have been oppressed for a long time. We weren't aware of it because they used the religions of Islam and Christianity to close our minds to our own oppression by our own governance. Now we are waking up. We need to wake up our people. Each one teach one. Each one teach one. When you learn it, teach the next person. That is what we need to do and encourage our people to do at home. The time has come now. War is upon us. I'm asking you, take part in this process. We need the unity of Middle Belt, Igbo land, and Yoruba land working together. Our unity is our only way to escape, to free ourselves. Our unity is what our survival will depend on. Our collective unity as Middle Belt, as Igbos, as Oduduwa, is what is going to guarantee our survival. Our unity will guarantee our survival. This is not a joke. So please, 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 we need your help to continue to bring this forward. It is of immense importance. It is of immense importance that you join us in the struggle. Don't be a bystander, because the war that is already upon us is going to touch every single one of us. I hate to say it. Some people have said the word, everyone is going to eat breakfast. I'm sorry, they are right. That is what's going to happen. If we do not take collective action now, even now, and unite, please, we haven't got time for division between Middle Belt and Igbos and Yorubas. What we need above all is unity. Our unity will guarantee our survival. Our unity will guarantee our survival. Those of you who want this t-shirt, you know what to do. Contact us on +44 7399 582 606. Those of us who want this t-shirt, contact us. WhatsApp me +44 7399 582 606. If you want this t-shirt, there's still time. We told you the match is going to happen 21st and 22nd of May, a few days from now, literally 4 or 5 days from now. It's the 17th now, so we got 4 or 5 days, and you have the time to still get the t-shirt. Get in touch. WhatsApp me a message. Not voice. WhatsApp me, and I can give you the details how you can get the t-shirt. £30 each. Those of you in the UK, very, very important. What is going on? You can see the army, everything in that nation. There is no democracy. It's a fraud. One final thing I want to show you before I wrap up here. And let me show you something. You may not be aware, but if you are, that's good. But I want you to know that constitution is a fraud. I've talked about it time and again, time without number. I've talked about the fact that the constitution is a fraud, and I want to make sure that that is something that you hold on to and realize and remember that the fraud is what is being used to oppress, has led to our oppression till date, and it is up to you and me to free us from that contraption. Our collective effort to free us is what is going to free us. Nobody will do it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop at the time. How long must they kill our prophet? Once we stand aside and look, whoa. Some say it's just the part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. I want you help to sing this song of freedom is all I ever had. Oh yeah, redemption song, redemption song is all I ever had. Oh yeah, yeah. Redemption song. Only us can free us. Don't wait for anybody else. No church, no mosque can free you. Yes, you can pray in them. You can, but the action to free you must be done collectively. We need to get involved in this process. Those of us in diaspora, reach our people at home. Please, I urge you. Now, before I go, again, this is what is known as a promulgation decree number 24 of 1999. It is not a democratic document. It is a fraud. It is not a democratic document. It is not, there is no seal of approval from we the people. And the seal of approval that it should be one thing and one thing alone, a referendum. Nowhere in this document will you see the words referendum. Nowhere in this document will you see the word referendum. Nowhere. Let's run through it to prove my point. Look at that. Whereas the military federal government of Federal Republic of Nigeria, in compliance with the Transition to Civil Rule Political Program Decree 1998, again, that was a 1998 decree, has through Independent National Electoral Commission conducted elections to the office of Vice President, governors, and everything else, House of Assembly. This is without our say-so. They've created all of these bodies, again, without our say-so. That shows that there is no referendum. There should be a referendum saying, after having gone through a process where the people collectively decided to support this new constitution, proposed constitution, which to now put the seal of approval. Now it now becomes a constitution based on the fact that we have a referendum. Overwhelming number of people supported it. It's absent. It is absent. Be in no doubt. This is a fraud. This is daylight robbery. Take it from me. San Babalala has said the same thing. He said, let me see if I can find his words and actually bring this to you again. So I want to just let me just read this to you. So I'm going to try and see how we can get that working. Let me just show you. He said here, the words he said. I'm going to try and see. In fact, I will read it out and I'll share it later. So he says here, let me state some very exact legal facts. The Sharia northern states has actually ceded from Nigeria. Those are the words of San Babalola. As I write this, the northern Sharia states are no longer part of Nigeria territory. Of course, it's still situated in the same geographical space as when it was still in Nigerian territory. The Sharia northern states are totally another country, another law, another ex-constitution, another culture, another tradition, another belief, another ambition. The secession of the Sharia North was actually made possible because the Sharia North never considered that fake, illegal, fraudulent workbook called the 1999 Constitution as a legal constitution, neither as a legal document. The Sharia North, as every other region, never rectified any constitution. This is the base of the entire problem. Rectification by referendum was never done, thus never considered the workbook a legal document. This is what I have been saying many times over, times without remember. I've said this over and over. So let me just copy this and put it. So for those of you who may want a copy of it, it just supports our argument. I've said this time and again that constitution is a fraud, and I told you there is no referendum. Before I read it, I showed you. Before I read it, I'm showing you this document. And like I said, in that document, there is nowhere where a mention of a referendum is made. That tells you right there that it is a fraud. And we need to go and spread this message. Make people aware that what we have is a fraud. And we cannot continue. Okay, 1 second. Hello? Hello? I'm on a live broadcast just now. Longest time. 1 second. Mama, I'm going to end the broadcast now. I'm live right now. Yeah, shaking immediately after. For me 5 minutes. Okay, so that's a call. Now I want to just do this, and I'm going to make the call to somebody as well because we've been here for some time now. So I don't really want to, there are things that need to be discussed, and sometimes it's better I don't do it on air. Now, so let me just make sure I get this right. Oh, goodness me. I don't know what's going on here. But what I want to, even if I don't get to put that up, I want you to know that what you have before you is a fraud. It is a fraud. It cannot change. Open note. Let me see if I can get that right. Okay, well, I'll do it this way. Since it's not letting me do it. Okay, I'll come back. Anyway, I'll leave that for now. So I just read to you the comment. I'll post that on, watch out for that on Citizen AY, on YouTube and all other platforms as well. The quote from San Babalola. So it supports what we've been saying, that Nigerian constitution is a fraud, and it's a fraud that we should play no part in. We need to take action ourselves via a referendum that we, the people of those regions, actively organize ourselves. We need to organize it ourselves, collate it ourselves, and announce it ourselves, and that becomes our law. And those are the kind of steps that we need to take ourselves. So we cannot, nobody else can do this for us. Now, in closing, before I finish, I want to show you something to make this very, very clear in no ambiguous terms, in unambiguous terms, that this is a decree that they try to hide from you. Never forget. There's a section they even talked about that the government grants the printer, the federal government printer, to omit all parts of this decree. And at the top of it, when you say, what is the decree? I showed you at the beginning, it says here, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Let me just bring that down. So I want you to see that, so that you know that what we're saying, we're not here in peddling lies. We're not interested in peddling lies. We just want you to know the truth, so that when you are informed, you can make informed decisions. When you're not informed, very much like those who are killing people in the guise of believing that if you abuse Prophet Muhammad, that you are allowed to kill them. It's a lie. It's a falsehood. Again, just like that claim, it's a false claim. This constitution is a false claim. The people have not put any referendum on it. It was imposed. So you see, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Promulgation Decree number 24 of 1999, it is a fraud. We need to continue to expose that. We never relent. That's the justification for why we are going for self-determination. We are not going to wait for them to grant us. We will institute it ourselves in the individual regions. But it needs our unity. I'm asking you to unite. The time has come for us to work together. We must achieve this. Please don't forget, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power. Now, so I've showed you the Constitution. Now, the promulgation decree. Now they give themselves the power to omit all parts of this decree from the schedule. So what you are holding on to as a constitution is actually a schedule to a decree, but they are making you believe that's a constitution. But it can never be a constitution because there is no referendum. Very much like I said, and like San Babalola said, that the people's seal of approval by way of voting in a referendum, yes or no, is not on it. That means that is not binding. It has never been binding. It is time we expose that to our people. It is not binding. It is not binding. We have the right to go for self-determination now. We do not wait, because that document is a fraud. You are getting the evidence from me here right now. So, and it says here, the decree may be cited as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That tells you that is a fraud. What are we waiting for? It is time for us now to set up vigilante groups across the whole of the Middle Belt, north, southwest, southeast, protect ourselves, and then declare our independence via a referendum. We have the right to self-determination, and we need to protect ourselves. The people that can do that have to be alive. That is why vigilante groups is important. War is upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please get in touch via WhatsApp, +44 739 580 606. Tell me your size. Tell me the quantity you want. It's £30 a t-shirt plus postage and packaging in the UK. We are organizing to see what we can do about those who want it in back in Yoruba Nation. We'll be making some announcements shortly. We're making some inquiries to see how that can be happen, and we'll come back and give you updates as soon as possible. But what's left for me to say now is to say thank you very much for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please don't forget, go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. We truly appreciate your support. Please continue to share this broadcast. Give us a thumbs up on all the platforms you're watching on the Oduduwa TV radio. As many thumbs up as possible, please. So please, So please, I am asking you, do make sure you get in touch. If you want yours and you're with us, please get in touch. We'll be making some announcements about the t-shirts. Please, the date of the match is the 21st and 22nd of May. We need our people. We'll be broadcasting live here in a little over 5 days. We'll be watching it live on the Oduduwa TV radio and Citizen AY simultaneously on here. Join us, watch it live, and also please get your t-shirt. We have t-shirts for sale. People are calling and requesting for it, and we'll get that done. Please don't be silent in this struggle. We need you. You are a leader. You watching me, you have a role to play. We are all leaders. Our voice, you see, the referendum is our voice. When we exercise it, nobody on this planet can ignore it. Our voice matters. Your referendum is your voice. When we vote, that vote means something. Right now, the government, the fraudulent governance we have, they denied us our right to referendum. And that is why we are justified in going for self-determination. Let's be confident. Let's teach this to our people. Let's reach more people. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen NY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you so much for watching. Please do share this podcast. Continue to share it. Don't forget, above all, go ahead, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Join us also as a member on Citizen AY on YouTube. We need your support. The more of us that can do this work, the more. We need to be able to get this message out there, that constitution is a fraud. And we need to explain it in our languages, in Yoruba, in Igbo, in Efik, in Ibibio, in all the languages that we have, Shekiri, all of our languages. Our people need to understand in their local languages that what they have is a fraud and they have the right to leave a fraud. Thank you so much for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Don't forget, go ahead, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Thank you so very much. I'll be back soon. Bye for now.